Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'll stop sharing and turn on video. Hi. Welcome to Bolts and Bites, episode 12. We forgot to do an episode title, or maybe we'll call it All Things Open, All Things Bolts and Bites. We're here live from Raleigh, North Carolina. This is an all in one show about a really cool conference and really cool friends that we've gotten to be together. So we're really celebrating that and doing the show from our hotel before we race to the airport.
And today, as you can already tell, we have a very special guest. So thank you so much for joining us. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jordana. I also work at Pantheon, and we found each other at the conference. I'm a technical engagement manager at Pantheon. I'm super excited. This is the first time John and I are meeting in real life. So I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I met you at like DrupalCon Global last year. You came and helped me out at our booth. So thank you for that. So it's been a real pleasure to get to meet you in person.
Yeah. We've been really excited to be here because it's been All Things Open, which is an open source aggregate conference where all sorts of communities come together. Drupal, WordPress. We saw a lot of folks from KubeCon last week coming now to All Things Open. So it's been a really fun conference. But one of the most cool things about being here is knowing that Jordana's been volunteering. So I thought we'd kick off the show with hearing a little bit about what the conference felt like as a volunteer and kind of what the logistics look like. And then we can tell you more about sessions.
Sure. I feel volunteering is always a great way to give back and to meet people, learn great things about conferences. And they always need volunteers to kind of help out. I always highly suggest you do that. I got to meet really great people. I really enjoyed coming to All Things Open because they were very transparent, very clear about how they were going to handle things. And I really enjoyed that. I felt safe the entire time. I felt very relaxed. And seeing as this is the first in-person event I've done, I think we've all done since the before time. This makes it it made it kind of a little bit, I was a little bit anxious, kind of interested to see how things were going to go. And I really loved it. It went really well. The organizers of this conference are rock stars. They are amazing. And I'm very, very thankful.
Yeah, I appreciated the like three-tiered health check that we went through. It was a little annoying every time they get checked all of them, but it did make me feel way safe. So I appreciated those extra precautions and seeing Jordana everywhere at the conference,
Yeah, where I was on
checked
it.
in or wherever I was at.
I actually have a picture of how the chairs were set up in the keynote, so I wanted to share that with our viewers. Coming in on Saturday, was it? Jordana and I were here for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Summit on Saturday, and the chairs were all set up. It wasn't on Sunday, it was on Sunday. We arrived on Saturday, it was on Sunday. And the chairs were set up spread out 6 feet apart. And I thought that looked really weird. But once we sat down in sections, it was actually really nice because I felt really safe and I had all the space to myself and I wasn't bumping into anybody. That was really great. Stop sharing that. So, another thing we wanted to talk about is some of the sessions that we attended. I actually have the paper schedule here just to show you what it looks like.
And that's just one day. There was a separate schedule like this for day two.
So you have like the in-person sessions on the top, and then you have the like virtual sessions on the bottom. So I don't know. Did you have a favorite session?
This was the interesting thing because this was a hybrid conference. So you had virtual sessions, in person and virtual. But there were a few talks where you had one speaker on stage live and the other speaker in the Zoom. And you had few virtual tracks. So it was super interesting to see how they did that, all that, which is. But yeah, one of my favorite sessions was so we are used to DrupalCon or WordPress conferences, which is a little bit more focused. But because this was about all things open source, you get to meet people from different communities and see all of the cool things they're doing. And one of the really cool things I found out about was OpenStreetMaps and how it very evolved and how great things are about that. And that's definitely a session I would suggest people check out. You've for sure used OpenStreetMaps even if you don't know about it. So I thought it was very cool.
And the people working at OpenStreetMaps are just amazing. That was what I forgot how much I love getting to just meet new people at a conference. So getting to talk and hang out with different groups was awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Maggie and Daniela for being so welcoming and having lunch with us and our first lunch kind of event. That was really great.
It's awesome.
One of my favorite sessions was actually a keynote session on Monday, and it was called LGTM, which stands for Looks Good to Me. But it was by Nigel from I can't remember where he works. I will tag him in the thing. But I thought it was a really great session because it talked about acronyms in the tech industry, like LGTM, and how like we can be more inclusive if we're more thoughtful about the different languages that we use, especially as developers. I feel like we have all these tech acronyms that we throw around, and it would be helpful if we were more, some companies like I know we at Pantheon have a glossary as well. And I know VMware, that's where Nigel works. VMware has like a dictionary for all of those things. And so that was a great way to kick off the conference. It was a really great storytelling based talk. So I was definitely taking notes for my session at DevRelCon about storytelling. I was like, Nigel's doing this and he has the spark and I need to like put into words what that is. So that was great. I love that talk.
Awesome. It's so hard to choose a favorite talk. I mean, it's really tough to beat Adam's talk about working on Perseverance rover and landing it. Was amazing as a keynote. But there were so many great sessions. I came in though with like pretty low expectations around the hybrid model, and I actually really enjoyed how it worked out. In fact, yesterday or the other day, I um, went into the virtual session. I really wanted to see it. I'm here at the conference. I wanted to get the feel though, so I just sat outside the conference center. So I still had like people around doing stuff, and I pulled it up and watched it there. So they did a really good job. They felt just as important, and the talks there were wonderful. So definitely check those out. They're going to have recordings released eventually, and if you want to get that information even sooner, you should check out our Twitter account because there was some great live tweeting going on.
Yeah, if you check out the All Things Open hashtag, that's hashtag All Things Open. There are a couple of us live tweeting an event. It wasn't just me, which was really cool. We call ourselves the Twitter superstars, Jordana included.
I think they were amazing. You could like the sessions you could not see or like couldn't attend. You know about you get all of these like little cool information about all these people in their lives to be, and it was amazing. So, props to them. Hey, I loved it. Um, we actually got pulled into a live path.
Yeah. And
Uh,
one of my Twitter DMs, Lisa Marie from Courage DB, was like, hey, like my panelists have dropped out. It looks like you might be good at talking about community. And I was like, I am. Thank you very much. And then I went to meet her and they were talking about codes of conduct and communities and how to enforce them. And I was like, I know somebody who is here who really knows about codes of conduct. And so it was very serendipitous, but it happened within 2 hours. And then next thing I knew, we were in a room setting up for the Community Leadership Summit talk. And
Yep, and that was all virtual, done by hosted by Jonah Bacon. So that was amazing. I really enjoyed like also being part of that. And the great thing about that is we met all of these amazing people.
oh my God, the panelists were so cool. And I'm really looking forward to keeping in touch with them.
Oh, this is the best part about conferences. I feel like it's the hallway tracks and the ability just to connect with all of these amazing people that you might not normally connected with. I am coming. This is all of the swag in the world. I'm doing a little whatever that thing is called, but all of the swag in the world cannot make up for just this fact of like connecting and networking with all these amazing people. I am absolutely in love with this. This is a conference that is on my must do, must experience list for sure. I will be back.
I was talking to John at breakfast this morning, and I was thinking, like, when you go to a DrupalCon, sometimes it takes like 3 or 4 days to meet people. And so, you're lucky if, as your first time, you end up on a trivia team because a lot of people are like, oh, like in their little groups and they know each other and they're like, hey, I haven't seen you in 2 years. But we were able to make friends on like day two and have lunch with people and like go out for dinner. And so I was like really touched by how welcoming this community has been and how they've just kind of brought you into their circles, invited you to sit with them.
Yes. well, and now I got to use this opportunity of swag and meeting people as a segue to mention Cooper Noodles because we made a great friend at the New Relic.
So you and Kim or Daniel Kim, you can find him on Twitter at Learn with Daniel.
But it was so much fun meeting. Even going to the booths was fun. And again, I may be biased. It's been 2 years since I've been able to be at an in-person conference, but it was really refreshing. And hopefully, this can be a good model for other events going forward. I know, DrupalCon Europe's already planning with, or DrupalCon US is planning what they're doing. So I'm excited to see how this continues to evolve as we figure out how we can do this safely.
Yeah, and just to leave you with a little, what are those things called? Easter eggs. Hashtag the ATO cookie saga. It's a must see. I have a cookie in my bag right now, but I won't spoil who it's from.
You think there's a cookie?
Suddenly.
It
disappear.
mysteriously disappears. That would be very much in saga. So yeah, if you're interested in what that inside joke is, it's on Twitter on the hashtag the ATO cookie saga.
I agree. So the social aspect, the social networking aspect, also props to the All Things Open team that are that are handling the Twitter.
Yeah, whoever is handling their brand is doing a great job. I really enjoyed interacting with the brand.
Yep.
Yeah, that's important though, Jordana. Like, thank you to the ATO team. Thank you to the volunteers of the conference.
There were a ton of volunteers that went above and beyond. But yes, I agree. I really appreciated the team. They are amazing folks. So
Thank you to the speakers. I know some speakers for speaking on site and then also speaking live on the virtual event. And so people running around and who else? Sponsors.
especially
Event staff was so great, checking our temperature, checking our badges. So yeah, it's been a really great experience overall. I think a lot of people have put a lot of work. I just showed up and had fun.
I mean, same. I just volunteered, but I had an amazing time. So yeah, especially thanks to the sponsors. There were very great people there, and we learned about so many great tech and open source communities. So I'm again in love. I might be biased as well. I'm kind of like hopped up on the energy of being able to do this again, but I think this is just because this is such a great conference as well. So
Yeah. I think this is one of these things, I think, John, you might agree with this, that we're going to continue processing over the next few weeks. We're going to come up with insights and probably going to want to do collaborative talks. I think last night John was like, oh, I should talk to that head of DevRel and share some lessons learned and experiences. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
well, not to do too many throwbacks in one episode, but today is another race to the airport for John and I, but not Jordana. We'll be heading out tomorrow. So, John, what time is your flight?
I think I've got 2 hours to get to the airport. So I'm not trying to quick a race, but definitely keeping an eye on the time.
Well, thanks for joining us for this episode of Bolton Fights live from beautiful Sunshine Raleigh, North Carolina. It's been a really great trip. The hotel's been great too. Somehow I got upgraded, but more on that later. We're here on Bolton Bites every Thursday at 9 a.m. We'll probably be back in the studio. I say studio like my office is a studio. I'm too high on conference energy, so now I'm doing my like newscaster vibe.
But it's so nice to do the show with sitting beside you instead of
Yeah. Yeah, every Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, Twitter live. We're thinking about moving to Twitch. So if you think that would be great, so you can have more of a conversation with us, let us know. Feedback is always welcome if you want to be on the show. Or if you have a conference coming up that is going to be a hybrid event and you're looking for someone to attend.
All right. Well, we're coming to our close, but today we're going to have our special guest, Donna, close us out.
thank you, and see you around in the community.